From the beginning of 2019, some Chinese have said, "This year is the best year in the next decade." This statement has been true for every year after 2019. In May 2024, what's trending on China's social media Weibo is the misery index. Let's see who tops the list. 1-star misery, unemployment. 2-star misery, unemployed plus no savings. 3-star misery, unemployed plus no savings plus a mortgage payment. Speaking of mortgages, here is a testimonial from a young man with a mortgage.
我今年35岁，背负350万的房贷。2019年一时冲动，贷款买了一套房子，现在每个月月供大概要18000。关键这其中16000都是利息啊！到目前我已经花了3年多了，真的还不动了。还房贷真的越来越困难。这样房贷啊，还完我差不多也要65岁了。房子已经拿到1年了，可是现在我连装修的钱我都没有，住都住不进去。
Of course, he's not the worst off. Let's look at the 4-star misery. Unemployed plus no savings, plus a mortgage, plus raising a child. 5-star misery, unemployed plus no savings, plus a mortgage, plus raising children, plus debt. 6-star misery, unemployed plus no savings, plus a mortgage, plus raising children, plus debt collection. This is a woman who is almost at the 6-star level of misery. She works in Sichuan province in southwest China. Last year, she and her husband each earned more than 30,000 yuan or over 4,200 monthly. They decided to take out a mortgage to buy a 2.8 million yuan home. They spent a lot of money to renovate it. New homes in China are usually rough homes. Homeowners need to lay the floors, install cabinets, kitchen appliances, and build bathroom facilities themselves. Soon after she bought the home, the national economy took a downturn. Her company folded and she lost her job. The entire family lived on her husband's salary, but she didn't realize that the hardest part was yet to come.
但是光老公15000的工资，每天都只有和稀饭，不敢买衣服，不敢买水果，不敢买零食，甚至不敢去外头吃饭，外卖都舍不得点。现在我老公的公司也在大面积的裁员，还不行，他也失业了，全家都没得收入来源，只能选择卖房子。但是现在那个行情，房子根本都卖不出去，只能不断的降价、降价再降价，最终以230万的价格卖出去的。现在不但房子没得了，首付款也没得了，装修款也搭进去了，还倒欠了银行一大笔钱。现在我们夫妻为房子投资了一切，除了打工还贷款，别的啥子都不敢想了。我到现在都还没还过来，明明啥子都没干，仅仅是2个人失业都变得人财两空，欠下了一屁股债。
Here is a man who has a 6-star ranking. He is a self-media person who updates his videos almost daily about himself and his family's difficult life. He was born in 1997 and graduated with a bachelor's degree in 2020. Although he majored in finance, he hasn't worked in the financial industry after graduation. He worked in sales before, but every job he had after that had nothing to do with finance. It has been 4 years since graduation. He hasn't saved a penny. On the contrary, he is heavily in debt. He said that he had been unemployed for more than a year and has no regular income. Every day he relies on odd jobs to make ends meet. Every day the pressure is high. He has to pay a big mortgage and a car loan and raise his children. He has resorted to online loans. He said, "I really don't know what to do. I feel like I'm going to the abyss step by step. Now I only have 100 yuan or so on me, and it's from borrowing online. I'm under a lot of pressure every day, working 15 hours a day but barely making ends meet. The money I make is simply not enough. The whole family is relying on me. It's overwhelming. It's also embarrassing to seek help from the parents as they are also living on a shoestring." He said that his baby was only a few months old and that his wife was at home taking care of the baby. Raising a child is expensive, costing US $830 this month. More than US $400 was spent on formula and diapers, as well as supplies such as a crib. He said he worked from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. and made $70. After a busy day without eating, his stomach hurt from hunger. At 11 p.m., he bought fried noodles at the night market for $1.40. He said, "I didn't know it would be so hard to make money this year. I sometimes need a helper for my part-time job, so my wife will come with me. My mother-in-law will come to help with the baby. He also said that he tried to find a regular job before, but the wages were so low that he could make more by working odd jobs. If I hadn't bought a home or had a child, it wouldn't have been so stressful. The pressure to pay the mortgage was too much, and he regretted buying a home. On April 8th, he said in a video that the mortgage was overdue, and he received a debt collection text message from the bank. Next is 7-star misery. Unemployed plus no savings plus a mortgage plus raising children plus debt collection plus sickness. 8 stars. Unemployed plus no savings plus a mortgage plus raising children plus debt collection plus sickness plus sick parents. 9 stars. Unemployed plus no savings plus mortgage plus raising children plus delinquent debt collection plus sickness plus sick parents plus foreclosure. The chart resonates with many Chinese. Do you think 9 stars is the limit for Chinese people who are in deep misery? Nope. Chinese people added, 10 stars is 9 stars plus home prices have dropped by half, or unemployment plus no savings plus no home plus raising children plus illness, 3 out of 5 on medication plus debt collection. 11 stars is 10 stars plus rotten-tailed homes. Some netizens actually feel relieved. They said that they had thought that they were miserable because they couldn't find jobs, but after reading the 2024 Misery Index, they realized that not being able to find a job was only at the lowest level of the 2024 Misery Index. For many young Chinese, if they aren't on the list today, there's no guarantee they won't be on it tomorrow. This woman works in a capital city in northeastern China. She will soon have 1 star after being verbally notified by her company that she's fired because she didn't work overtime on Saturday.
It was a Saturday, a rest day. I didn't come to work because my family was sick. I talked to Mr. Liu at that time.
But you did cause losses to the company. This is also a decision that the leaders have discussed. Considering the needs of the position, you aren't a fit, so you don't need to come back tomorrow. Don't worry, your salary will be given according to the rule.
I can't accept what you said. There's no rule that requires overtime work, and I had special circumstances that day.
But as you know, you did cause losses to the company. We also consider that you are relatively young, so we won't ask you to repay or compensate the company's loss.
What kind of loss have I caused? What damage do I have to pay for?
You don't have to worry about what to compensate. I'm just informing you that you don't have to come to work tomorrow.
That day was supposed to be a rest day. If you dismiss me because of that, you should list the relevant evidence to show that I have failed to comply with the company's rules.
We didn't force you to work overtime. Isn't it true that you didn't come to work that day? You took that day off. To be frank, we don't want you at this stage because you didn't meet our requirements. We can unilaterally terminate the labor contract. Later, after learning that this lady had applied for labor arbitration, the company called and threatened her. It's useless for you to apply for arbitration now. We have all the time in the world to waste with you, but you think about whether you will be able to find a job afterward. This woman has already experienced the horror of losing her job. She describes her current paycheck as about $830, with the mortgage taking half of that. The rest of her money is spent on the bare necessities of life. It's a life that makes her regret buying her home.
It's half an hour drive to the office, and every time I fill up the gas tank, it hurts like a fresh wound. When I pass by a clothing store and see something I like, I don't even have the courage to try it on. I'm saving what I can. Don't talk to me about quitting the job. Last year, when there was no work for more than 2 months, it really scared me. I had no income, and I had to borrow money to pay my mortgage, not to mention going out to have fun. I have been putting off dinner invitations from friends. I don't know what else to do. There's no money. When you go to other people's dinner parties, you will have to eventually pay back 30 years of mortgage. I think that I will have to work hard for a concrete, rough home for the next 20 years. By the time I'm 50 or 60 years old, I will still be paying the mortgage.
Since 2000, the number of college graduates in China has increased year by year, and the growth rate is getting larger and larger. As a result, the employment situation has become increasingly serious. China's youth unemployment rate continues to be at a high level and rising month by month. The monthly figures from January to June 2023 were 17.3%, 18.1%, 19.6%, 20.4%, 20.8%, and 21.3% respectively. Since April 2023, it has exceeded the unemployment rate of July 2022, which was 19.9%. It set new highs since statistics were collected in 2018. In August 2023, the National Bureau of Statistics announced that it would stop publishing the unemployment rate for people aged 16 to 24. On January 17, 2024, the government began to release youth unemployment data again. The unemployment rate for 16 to 24-year-olds excluding school students was 14.9%, and for 25 to 29-year-olds it was 6.1%. On March 20th, the government released the National Urban Youth Unemployment Rate for February after revising the statistical method for the second time. The unemployment rate for the 16 to 24-year-old age group excluding school students was 15.3%, an increase of 0.4%. The national urban unemployment rate was 5.3%. Even in the government's carefully polished data, we still see that youth unemployment is a serious problem. In Shanghai, Ms. Tian explained her goal for 2024 in front of the camera.
她说，休完长假刚回到公司的第一天。
She described how on her first day back at work after a long vacation, the leader called her into the office and told her, "Your position is gone. Either you change your position or leave." She said, "I was the only software tester in the company, so I choose to leave. I didn't start looking for jobs until I was done breastfeeding. After 3 months of preparation, I finally put out my resume this year." What happened next? I didn't get any interviews. I went crazy on the job apps but couldn't land on any interviews. Now I think about it, how well I lived before. That's how tormented I'm living now. My savings are gone now. I am lucky to stay alive. This year's goal is to stay alive.
我能活着就已经不错了。今年的目标是活着。
So if young people are miserable in China, what about middle-aged people? Are they enjoying more peace? At this age group, many have entered the category of middle class. Some are white-collar workers, and some may feel that they are gold-collar workers. But they also face the challenge of falling out of the middle-class category at any time. This woman who works in Shanghai describes how she and her husband started working there in 2012, and in 2013 they got married and had a child. She earns 200,000 yuan or US $27,000 a year. They plan to buy a home in Shanghai within 10 years. After 7 years of hard work, they finally saved enough money for a down payment to buy a home in Shanghai. In the video, she shows her master's degree and the certificate of first-class architect. She said she didn't expect to become unemployed in 2023. At first, I thought it would be easy to find a job, but then I realized it wasn't the case. Also, as I was unemployed for a prolonged period of time, the marital conflict also slowly appeared. Originally, I was thinking that now I should stop fighting for my career and return to my family, but now it seems unlikely. In China, age 35 is special. It is an age that is no longer competitive in the job market. In the video, Ms. Wang describes how she once braved the rain for an interview with a monthly salary of 5,000 yuan. She was rejected outright because of her age.
她自己都觉得好笑。几个月前，
She said she found it ironic that she made a monthly salary of 20,000 yuan only a few months ago, but now she wasn't even considered for a job with a monthly salary of 5,000 yuan. She was born in 1990 and is 34 years old, right on the 35-year-old threshold. She said, "I graduated 10 years ago. I have been working hard in the industry with endless overtime, endless PPTs, endless meetings. I have never thought that one day I would be unemployed and won't be able to find a job that pays 5,000 yuan. People say you have been working for so many years that you must have savings. Yes, I should have savings, but in 2018 I listened to the advice of my friends and relatives and bought a home on a whim. Now I lost 500,000 outright. I still have to pay 3,500 yuan a month in mortgage. I have lost all my savings over the years. It's said that at age 30 one can live with stability, but in my 30s I fell down and I don't know what's on the road ahead. The situation in China's capital, Beijing, is equally bad. This woman in Beijing told the story of her friends. She said that of the 6 people at the dinner table, 4 were unemployed, 1 was waiting for the results of an interview, and 1 was in a so-called business venture. The oldest of us was 42 years old, and the youngest was 33. It was definitely not a deliberate attempt to form an unemployment group. It was just friends getting together for a meal. She wondered, is the circle of friends around you that bad too? As you can see from these stories of young and middle-aged Chinese, the collapse of China's real estate market has triggered a major economic downturn. The stock market has fallen to a 5-year low. Among the vanishing white-collar workers are the real estate professionals. The 2 sections that have borne the full impact of the real estate downturn are real estate developers and realtors. According to China's official economic survey data, employment in these 2 sectors accounted for 29% and 13% of the total industry, respectively. Bloomberg recently reported on the life of a 30-year-old woman who lost her job in real estate sales. Ivy Zhang graduated with a bachelor's degree in 2016 and went on to work for one of China's largest real estate companies. She worked hard, working until 11 p.m. every day, and was promoted to a bigger city after winning the title of sales champion. To reward herself, she sometimes splurges, often buying 4,000 yuan spa packages to relax, even though she rarely gets to use them. She said that there was just so much money that she could just spend it without much thought. But these exciting days grinded to a halt in 2021. Developers were selling off their phased homes faster than they could build them. The government's crackdown on corporate financial chains has led to the collapse of the real estate industry. Employees who thought they had found a gateway to middle-class life in the real estate industry found their lives turned upside down. If you still want to live like you used to, you're basically dreaming. Ms. Zhang, who was interviewed, told Bloomberg that if I used to spend 3,000 yuan, now I want to see if I can get it down to 2,000 yuan. Then I'll see if I can get it down to 1,000 yuan, so long as I can live.